The tools that you're going to need for this job are going to be a silicone tip brush, like a rubber kind of squeegee end rubber brush, and a regular broom. I have this kind of old broom I use for dust and dirty stuff, and a hand pump kind of sprayer bucket, about a gallon in there, and I've already put the Penofin Brightener down in there. You can see it down in there. We're going to fill it up with water, and then we're going to spray that onto the deck, and then we'll use the two brooms to kind of scrub it in and make it work. Here's a deck we're going to be working on today. It's about 250, almost 300 square feet. This is redwood. It's had 2 or 3 applications of a Penofin coating on it. It's been stripped off, and today we're going to use the Brightener to hopefully remove some of these dark stains, dark spots that we've been getting just from stuff falling on it. So this is kind of the before. See some dark spots. Now it is raining today, which is okay because it's raining really lightly. And we're going to apply the Brightener with water anyway. So the rain is going to help us, kind of like free water. So we have our setup here. I've already explained to you the tools you're going to need. We're going to go ahead and fill this with water, start pumping it up, and start spraying. We're going to fill it up about 3/4 of the way to leave enough air in there so we can make some pressure. Now, the Penofin Brightener wants to be applied to a damp deck or to like wet. So you're supposed to spray some water down first. So luckily it's raining today. It rained a little bit ago, so it's easy for us to do. We'll go ahead and just wet the deck evenly with the hose or the easy. And that's just going to help to spread out the Brightener, make sure it gets everywhere nice and easily. And what I'm going to do is start to lay down an even coat of our Brightener mixture everywhere on the deck. You're going to do it really evenly so you don't get any weird spots. You just pump it up, the pumps, and it's going to build some air pressure inside and spray out the nozzle. I recommend you buy a decent version of one of these. This is like a metal tin one, which is cool. You can see I already dented it up, broke it. I think it's like 30 bucks. Buy the best tool you can. It's going to just save you in the long run. So a couple pumps is all you need. You're going to see from our little nozzle here, it just starts to spray out. So nice and easy, and we'll spray down the whole deck. All right, so we've got a very even coating onto the deck, and we can already see that a lot of those dark stains over here are already been lightened up. And there was a spot over here that had a bunch of little black dots. So you can kind of see them a little bit, but they're going away. In a couple more minutes, they'll be gone. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to brush it around with that kind of loose bristle broom just to make sure we got good coverage everywhere. And we'll let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll rinse it off. So now we're going to get our kind of loose packed brushy broom. We're just going to kind of go board by board here and brush it all in just to make sure you've got really good even coverage of this Brightener, because you don't want it to miss any spots. Yeah, one bright spot and one dark spot will look weird and you'll be in trouble. So this gives you a nice even coverage. So go ahead and do the whole deck that way. You can also see that in some areas the Brightener is lifting up whatever was on here before. So you want to pay attention to those areas and make sure we scrub this really good to get rid of all this old stuff. This is residue from a previous job. There's a couple reasons why I'm doing this Brightener, this step 3. And I wanted to show you this particularly because we've already stripped the wood. We've already fixed any little like raises and sanded some areas, but there was still some black stains. And those black stains are like mildew, or something got on there, or some coating from something else, or somebody dropped wine or a beer or something on the surface. And so this stuff is almost like a bleach but it's biodegradable, doesn't smell bad. I'm not worried about putting it onto my plants back there. It doesn't stain up my walls and stuff. So I can use this stuff to just brighten up that wood, make it back to brand new. What's gonna happen is it also restores the pH. So when I put a new coating on, any of that acid stripper that I used before isn't gonna like bubble up whatever I put on top of it. And so I mixed about half of this container with a gallon of water. And so that's probably a little bit over concentrated. It says this should do like 4 gallons, 2 to 4 gallons. So just kind of depending on how you want it. But it's a wet day outside. And there was already some water on the deck. So I mixed it a little bit strong, but it works really well. It wants about 20 minutes before you're supposed to rinse it off. So I'm gonna let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes. Make sure the areas I was really concerned about are all lightened up. Then I'm gonna rinse it off. And as the wood dries, it's still gonna be in there, so it's still gonna do some work. So when the wood dries, it's gonna be nice and bright, almost white looking, ready for a new stain. This is the step 2 cleaner that we used. I didn't need to use the step 1 because the deck already had a coating on it and I already maintain it, I already keep it clean. So I just rinsed it off with water and scrubbed it a little bit with my loose broom. And then I used this, which actually is like pretty caustic, and it strips off the old finish. So this stuff works really, really good. It's kind of nasty. It doesn't really have that big of a smell, but you can really see it eat up whatever gets on. So I try to be really careful getting this on the walls and other flooring and concrete and stuff because it's kind of nasty. But this works perfectly to strip off whatever old coating. So if your deck has some old coating, you don't know where it came from, how long it's been there, use this first to clean the wood really good. And it actually soaks deep down in, and then you scrub off whatever it raises up. So any old coating or oil or stain that was on there, this will get rid of it. And then you use the step 3 to go neutralize this stuff and brighten it all up and bring it back to look like brand new wood. And then we'll go ahead and apply our stain after that. It's been about 15-20 minutes, and you can really already see it lightening up really well, especially in some of these areas where I applied the concentrate a little bit heavy in the high walk areas. Really, we had some concern in this back corner with some dark spots. Those are gone. So those were either a mildew or some tannin or some sort of residue from the coating before. And this third plank in had some spots, so you can still kind of see them a little bit, but they're lightening up really well. So by the time this stuff dries, it'll be gone. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna do a rinse and just wet the whole deck again, rinse it off, and I'll use our squeegee to get rid of that layer, and then we'll let it sit and dry. This squeegee combo with the soft rubber tip brush has really been great for me. We bought it because we have hardwood floors and it helps to pick up dog hair because my dogs shed a lot. But I stole it from my wife and now I use it almost exclusively for the deck because it has this squeegee, so after it rains I go out there and I squeegee it off because I don't want to let water sit on the deck. And so we're going to use this basically just to squeegee off the deck just once. Now I've already wet it down, already gone through everything, but I just want to get rid of any like stagnant water or standing water that would make one spot darker or lighter than other spots. And also, one thing that's really good with this, it's gonna allow me to get in there and see what's under that surface, that water. So if I see something weird like this little spot here, I can come back and I can pick at it or clean it up or figure out what it is, and then I can decide if I need to come back and work that spot a little bit or if I just move on. So I kind of do this once over of the whole deck just to finish up that brightening aspects. We're going to do that. The application part is done, and now we just need to let the deck fully dry. I'll give it a couple days. You want at least 24 or 48 hours before you apply that stain. You need it very, very, very dry. It's not going to rain for much longer here today, so I'll let it dry all week, and we'll come back in 3 or 4 days and apply the new stain after it's very, very dry. I'll also do an inspection once it's dry, and I marked some of these little areas. Where's it went? That one that I showed you. Mark some of these areas that were causing potential concern. We'll check those out once everything is dry and see if we need to address those any differently.